Hey guys, it's Lib in the editing chair once again. Just to tell you that, this has been happening for the past few episodes. I just never noticed until right now that there's always been static in my microphone or some kind of like hushing noise. I didn't know until Pat pointed it out to me while we were playing fucking Call of Duty Zombies yesterday. And guess what? It was a connection issue with my wires. So I fixed it now. I'm sure you can tell. You're gonna be able to compare from this audio to the audio in the episode, but unfortunately the audio in the episode is permanently tainted. So there's gonna be a little bit of static on my end. I'm really sorry about that. That won't happen again now because, that's what sound tests are for, and I'm gonna be listening out for it. But yeah, also sorry this episode took so long. Um, Spooktober, just in general, is taking a long time. We may shorten it. This is not a definite, but we may shorten it because there are movies coming out that we want to do over the movies that we would have done with Spooktober. Just October was just a really weird month. So, unfortunately, we might have to cut it a little bit short. But for now, here's our review of The Evil Dead with static. Hello and welcome to the 40th episode of Fresh Off the Reel. My name is Lib.
And my name is Deadite Pat.
And today we are doing the second episode of Spooktober with continuing our theme for this year, which is classic horror. Today we're doing The Evil Dead. And actually, fun fact, we're recording this on Halloween, so happy Halloween, everybody.
Hey, Halloween. Also today we got our first look at the new Evil Dead movie, so it works out.
What's it called again? Rise of the Evil Dead?
Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, okay. I flipped it. Anyways, we're talking about the original Evil Dead today, the 1981 film directed by Sam Raimi. Because there's another one that's also, it's just called Evil Dead without the, that's not directed by Sam Raimi, which came out in like 2011? 2013? Okay.
And this new one is a sequel to that reboot.
Well, look at that.
We're talking about the Bruce Campbell one.
Yep, we're talking about the one that started it all, which is it's kind of a parody of Night of the Living Dead. Which, hold on, I need to see what year that came out. I don't know how to spell night, apparently.
1968.
Wow. 1968.
Yep.
That's an old one.
Yep. Night of the Living Dead kind of like defined zombie movies. And I'm using zombie movie very loosely because there's huge debate over if Evil Dead's a zombie movie or not.
Yeah, there is. I say it's not.
I think it is. That's something we'll talk about in this episode.
Yeah. So let's talk cinema. So first off, we're going to read the plot synopsis like we always do. This is coming from Letterboxd. When a group of college students finds a mysterious book and recording in the old wilderness cabin they've rented for the weekend, they unwillingly unleash a demonic force from the surrounding forest.
This movie is pretty simple. There's like 5 named characters in this movie, and the whole movie takes place on like 2 locations. The land the cabin takes place on, and then the cabin. that's the whole movie.
That's it. It's a very cheap movie.
Yep, and it looks cheap, but it looks cheap in like a charming way, and I respect it.
Yeah, like we say cheap, but the movie had a budget of I think it was 300,000. Yeah, the movie had a budget of 300,000, but it's filmed very crudely. It's filmed like handheld. I don't think that they had any stabilizers for the cameras. There's a lot of shots of like the cameraman walking around. You know, like there's like fast, like sped up scenes of the cameraman not zooming and not like manually zooming, digital zooming, but physically walking closer to the object that it's filming, you know?
It really makes the cameraman feel like a character, even though like he's not there. Like this isn't a fourth wall breaking movie, but it makes you feel like you're in the room because of how the movie is shot. And it's kind of cool. That was kind of Sam Raimi's shtick before doing stuff like Spider-Man. Like the other, like Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness are also shot in like the same kind of way. Obviously, it's improved because those movies came out later and he had more experience. But those two movies are shot kind of similarly. Can't speak for Ash versus Evil Dead. He did direct that as well, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we actually just watched the trailer for season 4.
No,
So
that was the trailer for season 1
that
for
was
the
season 1.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the trailer for the show.
Okay. Because it's in the trailer it said this season, so I thought it was a new one.
Yeah, I might be
Yeah,
wrong.
it
I don't
said
know.
this season on it.
I'm,
It might have been
I'm,
season 1. I don't know.
uh, yeah, I think it's season 1 because it says 2016.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. So this is the one starring Bruce Campbell, who he came back for the show. So that's cool. Bruce Campbell's in, I think, almost everything that Sam Raimi makes. He at least cameos in.
Yeah, he is. They're like every like big budget Hollywood movie that Sam Raimi has made, Bruce Campbell is in to some capacity. He's the wrestling announcer in Spider-Man 1. He's the hot dog guy in Multiverse of Madness. And he's Ash Williams in four different outings.
Yep. So he's Ash in. Well, let's see. Well, it's all the Evil Dead movies, and
Well, all the Evil Dead movies except the reboot.
except the reboot. I think he cameos in the reboot though, because he's credited.
They probably cameos in. I haven't seen it in a long time, but like he is credited, so he probably has a cameo in it, and he'll probably have a cameo in Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, in the
Right.
sequel.
But he's the star of Evil Dead 1, 2, and Army of Darkness.
Yeah, and in the show, and then Ash versus Evil Dead, and I guess he's in the game too.
He's in the game too, and he's in isn't he in Dead by Daylight as well?
Like Bruce Campbell is in Dead by Daylight.
Well, like Ash is
I
in.
I'm not
I don't know
I'm
if
not sure.
I'll check while you talk.
Well, go ahead. Well, the Bruce Campbell's really the only character in the whole movie that has an arc. There's only 5 characters. 2 of them die at the beginning.
Yet the other one dies later.
Yeah, and actually the only other like it's 3 women and 2 guys. The 2 guys is Bruce Campbell and this other guy. His name's Scott in the movie. He's played by Richard DeManicore. DeManicore? I don't know, but he's only in this movie and another movie called Crime Wave that Sam Raimi also directed in 1985. Those are his only 2 movies, is this and Crime Wave. So, yeah, not a lot to talk about this actor. I guess you could say this is first and only well-known performance, because I guess Crime Wave's a thing, but I never heard of that movie. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it, but also update. He's a survivor in Dead by Daylight, and he is voiced by Bruce Campbell.
Oh, well, there you go. Bruce Campbell, he's a good sport about this franchise. He really likes it.
He does. I mean, this was like his claim to fame, right? Like aside from cameos in other Raimi movies, this is it. Like he was in Evil Dead. That's his big. That's what he's known for, you know. And so I can understand why he has it so near and dear to his heart. I also think he and Sam Raimi are best friends off camera.
Yeah, for sure they have to be. The other 3 cast members, the other 3 characters. I mean, it's Cheryl, Linda, and Shelly. I think it's Cheryl that dies first. I think, right? And like, she becomes a zombie.
I know Sarah dies last.
It's Shelly.
Yeah. All right. Sarah's the actress's name. I'm stupid.
No,
Sarah voices Annie. I'm looking at like wrong people. That's fine.
yeah.
I'm looking at Evil Dead 2.
You're looking at Evil Dead 2. There's no one in the cast named Sarah.
Yeah. I'm looking at Evil Dead 2.
Yeah,
So,
it's Ellen Sandwich, who I was about to call her Sandwiches. Let's call her Sandwiches. So Ellen
Like it's that
Sandwiches. No, it's Ellen Sandwiches now, Pat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So she plays Cheryl, and then Betsy Baker plays Linda, and Teresa Lilly plays Shelly. I feel like I've heard Teresa Lilly. Oh, she's in Oz the Great and Powerful, also directed by Sam Raimi. I feel like all of these are just Sam Raimi's friends. and he was just like, "Hey, I'm making a movie. You want to be in it?"
The way it's shot kind of feels that way too. They just picked up a camera and followed these people around, right?
Yeah.
It's just these buddies made friends together.
Sam Raimi is also in this movie. He does like I think he does some of the voices of
That
the
night.
evil force, the Deadites. That's what they're called, the Deadites. He also cameos as apparently a hitchhiking fisherman, according to Letterboxd. I didn't catch it, but hey, maybe on a rewatch I'll see it again. But would I rewatch this movie?
I didn't catch it either, honestly.
Would I rewatch this movie? Let's talk about our scores. Pat, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 3.5. I originally had, before rewatching this movie, I had it at a 4. Because I like it, like just for those who don't know, I love these movies. I love the trilogy. The reboot, I think the reboot's fine, but I love this trilogy. Evil Dead 2 is my favorite, and I before rewatching this with Lib, it was sitting at a 4. It's now a 3.5. I still really enjoy it. I think it's very cheesy and campy and fun, but some stuff just doesn't hold up too well, and
Mm.
the whole Deadite thing is just very weird, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I gave it 2 stars. I thought it was fine. I thought it was all right. The way the movie shot kind of took me out of it though, which is weird because last episode when we were talking about Werewolf by Night, I was saying if it was shot more cheaply, I would have liked it better. But Werewolf by Night's a different story. If you want to hear what I said about Werewolf by Night, go check out last episode. But for
it's funny
this,
because I said that the way it's shot and the way it's like edited would kind of take you out of it, and yeah.
yeah, like I'm okay with the handheld camera, that filming style. I'm okay with that. But this movie really, it really took me out of it. I don't know what it was. It really reminded me of Blair Witch a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And Blair Witch isn't the best comparison. Do you have you seen you've seen Blair Witch, right? The original.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new one.
Do you like the original?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. So, yeah, I don't think the original Blair Witch is great. Uh,
I like the Blair Witch video game, which a lot of people like. Okay, not a video game podcast, but a lot of people hate that game. I think it's really good, and the reason why I think it's really good is because it's the best adaptation you could do of Blair Witch, which is not a great source material to begin with. But hey, they did a good job with the game, so if you like horror, I guess Blair Witch is fine. The video game I'm talking about, not a video game podcast. Let's move on. Yeah, but I didn't like Blair Witch the movie, and the way this movie's filmed really reminded me of Blair Witch. So like it took me out of it. But that's not why I gave it 2 stars. That's like that maybe took half a star away, but the reason I gave it 2 stars is because like I feel zero attachment to these characters, and I get it. Like I get it. It's like that kind of movie. It's just a killing spree, but like in the I haven't seen the other Evil Dead movies, but in the other ones it really is just a huge killing spree. That's the whole movie. But in this movie there's only 5 characters, which means and Bruce Campbell is the main character, which means there could only be a total of 4 zombies in this movie at once. And that doesn't even happen. Like at most there's 2 zombies.
yeah, you don't really see a lot of them on screen at the same time.
1 star for
Um,
each zombie. That's why I gave it 2 stars.
I think the most you see is like it's 3 and it's very briefly. It's like because when it's when like Scotty is dying, he briefly turns into a deadite, like extremely briefly, while the other two are on screen, and then they throw Shelly out of the house, and Scotty becomes a deadite.
So how does it work, the Deadite thing? Because it's not the
So
same as conventional zombies.
it's not. So the way it works is like when they get to the cabin, they find the Book of the Dead, right? It's in like the cellar.
Yeah.
And when they open the Book of the Dead, it like awakens the evil dead that just happened to be living in the forest. And the way it spreads is like when I think it's Cheryl. It was Ash's sister who goes into the forest. And she's like, "Oh, what's this tree that's attacking me? Oh my god, the spooky!" And the tree like attacks her, and then that's how she becomes possessed by the evil dead, and then hilarity ensues.
Yes, I guess you need to have like some kind of flesh wound For the
Not even they could like go in through your mouth.
oh okay. Oh, that sounds weird.
The Deadite, oh the Evil Dead could just possess you. Like it's just oops, you're possessed, and then the way the Evil Dead works is like it has a really like sick and twisted sense of humor. Like it doesn't want to kill you, but it really wants to fuck with you.
It has Sam Raimi's sense of humor.
Yeah, it has Sam Raimi's sense of humor, where it really wants to fuck with you, and then eventually it'll kill you because that's the ultimate bamboozle, right? It's taking your life away. But so like the whole movie, the target is Ash. So like we're gonna turn your sister into a zombooter, and then we're gonna have her attack you and kill your friends and kill your girlfriend, and then they're gonna fuck with you, and you're gonna have to kill them. Oh no! And then after we kill them, after you kill them, we'll kill you.
Yeah, but they never actually get around to killing Ash because he has plot armor.
Yeah, because he's the protagonist,
Yeah.
right? So we get like I'm assuming the plan for the Deadites was just like one by one have Ash kill each of his friends and family because he went with his sister, his friend, and his girlfriend.
Yeah, then his friend brought his fiance.
I think so. I don't remember,
Yeah,
but so like the plan was we're gonna start with Cheryl. I'm pretty sure Cheryl is first.
I think so.
Shelly is last. I know that for sure. But it's either his sister or the other girl. What's her name?
Linda.
Shelly. No, Linda's the girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
It's Shelly and Cheryl. I know they're very similar names. The other two girls. So we're gonna have Ash kill them one by one, and then when he leaves, after he's killed everybody, with the forest, we're gonna kill him because the Evil Dead lives in the forest and can do that. But it doesn't work that way because Mr. Bruce Campbell finds his two most iconic weapons: the shotgun and the chainsaw. And then yeah, he just kills people. Well, he kills his friends and family.
Well, he kills his friends and family. The way you kill a deadite in this movie is you gotta sever their limbs. That's how you get rid of them. That's what the guy on the tape recorder said. Which, by the way, the guy on the tape recorder, it's Bob Dorian, for anyone who wants to know. He was like, you just like sever one of their limbs or you cut their head off, and then they're gonna spew milk all over the place, and that's how they die.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, like you cut off their limbs, and then one of two things happens: you either kill them, or they just like can't do anything, so they waddle there forever.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
if you like this is one of the zombies types where if you cut their head off, they're still alive. Like the head is still alive; it can still talk. But that's more the demonic possession thing, which is why I don't consider them zombies. Maybe like in the in the other movies they're more like zombies, but in this movie they're definitely not. I don't think they are. It really depends on what your definition of a zombie is. And like the definition of a zombie boils down to two things. How do you become a zombie and how do you kill a zombie? So like how do you become one is basically you either take Romero's route or you take Sam Raimi's route. Like I don't know if Sam Raimi was the first one who did this, but Romero's route is you get bitten by someone that you already have the infection in you. Everybody has the infection. You get bitten, it activates the infection, and the infection kills you. Then, well, it's a virus, not an infection, but whatever. The virus then takes over your body slowly. After like 20 minutes after you die, the virus is able to control your body, and the way to kill it is to destroy the brain. And they cutting the head off works too. So that's Romero's route. Now Raimi's route is something, a virus or a demon or whatever it is possesses someone that's still alive and they just turn into a zombie. That's still a zombie. It's just like that. Now they could die by any means, like how in have you ever played, this is another video game, but have you ever played Dead Rising?
Yes.
Yeah, so in Dead Rising, the zombies can just die from blood loss. Like you could shoot them in the chest and they'll die. It's Raimi's route will have that death, like that method of death. Now the thing about, I'm calling it Raimi's route because we're talking about the Evil Dead. I don't know if Raimi was the first one to do the virus. It's either Virus.
It's not a virus. It's
Yeah,
possession.
yeah, I know, but like it's either virus takes over dead body or virus takes over living person. Those are the like the two choices. Like another video game. I can't think of any movie examples, I'm sorry. But uh Dying Light takes virus takes over living person. The Walking Dead takes virus takes over dead body. Now the Evil Dead takes the virus takes over living person, but it's not a virus. In this one, it's demonic possession. The demon goes into your body through a like
Opening.
through an opening, an orifice, or just like a cut on your arm or whatever, like a flesh wound. It enters your body, and then you become a zombie. Now, what's the goal? Well, or a deadite in this case. Now, what's the goal of the deadite? No, because the goal of a zombie is to spread the virus. That's the goal of a zombie. But the goal of a deadite is just to kill.
It's the fuck. No, not even just to kill. It's just to fuck with someone. Okay, so this is like really random, but I was like, while you were talking, I looked up because like I'll just say it, like, spoilers for Evil Dead 2. But Linda's in Evil Dead 2, right? So like, she's
Oh,
not
she's
dead.
not dead?
No, no, no. He kills her. He kills her
Dude,
in
you
Evil Dead.
spoiled the whole thing for
No,
me.
no, no, no. He's not. She's not like a main character in Evil Dead 2. She just happens to be in Evil Dead 2. And like to fuck with Ash, she's in Evil Dead 2 for like one scene. Like I looked up I looked up Linda on the villains Wikipedia, the villains fandom site.
What does it list her as?
So she's an evildoer because like I love her hobby, taunting Ash. Goals: kill Ash, failed. crimes, crimes, attempted murder. I just thought that was funny.
Oh my, wait, hold on. Villains Wiki.
The
Here,
other, the
Linda
other.
from the Evil Dead franchise. No, because Evildoer just says, like, because on the Villains Wiki, you're either an evildoer or an anti-villain. I mean, an anti-hero.
An evildoer.
Uh, Type of villain, possessed hero's lover. Okay, well, obviously the Villains Wiki isn't the best source.
No, no, I just thought that was funny. Like,
Hold on, what is the because there's the heroes wiki. Let's see what it lists Ash as. Now I'm curious.
I'm an anti-hero. Like, he's a hero, but like he's kind of a killer, right?
No, not Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, no, that's right. What do you mean?
What's his last name?
Ash Williams.
Ash Williams. They list him as do-gooder.
Yeah, he's a do-gooder.
Powers skill, skilled use of weapons, melee combat proficiency, resourcefulness, craftsmanship, evil recognition. Evil recognition, okay. Oh, here, Deadites. Okay, Deadites. Hostile species. Let's see. Abilities, members, hobby. Hobby.
I like how Linda and Scott are listed as antagonists of Evil Dead. Like, I guess, but that's not necessarily true, right?
Okay, so here, okay, so I'm looking at the villains wiki page for the Deadites. And then I'll also pull up the villains, the villains wiki page for zombies.
Like,
So,
like on the villains wiki for Scotty, like Scott,
yeah.
he's listed as a zombie. But this
Okay.
is also, they also say he's possessed by an evil force, and they also, it's also Wikipedia. So like, I feel like Sam Raimi is the only one who'll ever be able to give that answer. Maybe he said it, and I just don't know. But
Yeah, it's just because, like, when you look at the page for zombies, it says type of hostile species, cannibalistic zombies. And then for Deadites, type of hostile species, demonic mindbreakers. So, I don't know. I guess, like, this is obviously, like the villains wiki is hosted on fandom. So, like, it's not official, obviously. By no means is it official. But I think most people say they're not zombies. At least in the first movie.
yeah, they become. See, the thing is, like, I don't think they become more zombie-like later. I think it's just because there's more of them. They kind of look like a herd of zombies, or like it's closer to like the way zombies would act. But like the way zombies are portrayed in anything is weird because like it wasn't until Romero that the whole like ableist walking around like mindless walking around thing wasn't really a thing until Romero, right? It's like the way zombies are portrayed just changes, but depending on the artist. Maybe Sam Raimi intended this to be like just demonic possession, but then later it became like zombies. Like I definitely think the Deadites and Evil Dead versus the reboot, sorry, are like different.
I think the piece of media that like perfected zombies. Like I use the word perfected. I don't use the word a lot, but like I really think that The Walking Dead, the 2003 comic, it was written by Robert Kirkman, that is 100% how zombies should be, right? It's the virus takes over a dead body, you kill the brain, kill the zombie, that's how it works. It's a rotting corpse that's walking around. Is that what's happening in the Evil Dead? Because in the Evil Dead, the zombies can theoretically exist forever.
Yeah. Case in point, Linda in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, like do they have to eat?
No.
There you go.
They don't have to eat. They could like reattach like limbs. They can exist without a head. They like they're not zombies. I like thing is the zombies typically don't have a personality, right? Like they become the virus.
Yeah.
And like that's what happens with Deadites, but the Deadites, like the Evil Dead has a personality. The Evil Dead as a concept has a personality that is reflected on the Deadites. So it's not necessarily the same as the way the zombie virus works, because their personality does become the virus, but the virus has a personality to begin with. So it's a bit different in the case of the Evil Dead and Deadites.
Like for any zombie media, whether they go the dead body route or the living person route, the goal of the virus is just to spread and survive. It's an instinctive thing. Just like with any virus in real life, like with the common cold, for example, the bacteria that causes the common cold, all it wants to do is spread and survive. Power in numbers, right? That's what viruses do in real life. That's what the zombie virus is trying to do in like all the zombie media. But in the Evil Dead, they're just here to fuck with people. And it's a demon hive mind. It has to be activated first.
Okay, I just did some research. Apparently, Bruce Campbell said they're different.
They're not he said they're not zombies.
Yes.
We got it, guys. Bruce Campbell's on my side.
They're different. They're different families. They're different species. They're different species.
It's just like look, what is, when you think of the first power that a zombie has, what is it? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when somebody asks you name a power that a zombie has?
They're not. Oh yeah, they're not immortal, but like they're undead, so they have like perfect. What's the word?
Well, it's not that. It's just like what's their main like, well, if they're attacking you, what do they do?
They just attack you like with their arms and shit. Like they flail aimlessly. They don't think.
No, but what are zombies trying to do? Is what I'm saying. They're
That's
trying.
the virus.
They're
That's what
trying
the
to
virus
bite
needs
you.
to eat food.
They're trying to bite you,
Yeah.
right? They're trying to eat you. And if you survive being eaten, then you turn into a zombie. Do the Deadites in the Evil Dead, if they bite you, what happens? Theoretically, nothing.
You get hurt, but then because you have an opening, the Evil Dead could possess you.
Yeah,
right?
but when the Deadites bite Ash, nothing happens to him because they don't want to possess him.
Yeah.
If the Evil Dead chooses who to possess, then if a Deadite bites somebody and he decides, and it's like the entity decides not to possess that person, it doesn't have to. They could just move on.
Right.
And the Deadites won't try to eat that person. They'll just keep going.
I'm trying not to like get too much into the other two movies because one, you haven't seen them, and two, they're not relevant to discussion about Evil Dead 1. But it does kind of weigh into the are they zombies or not, because in Army of Darkness there's like the Deadites we see in these movies, like even in Evil Dead 2 there's like the same kind of Deadites in this movie. But then there are other Deadites that are just zombies. So like it's not very clear. I don't think Sam Raimi has ever talked about it, but Bruce Campbell seems to think that they're different. So let's just listen to Ash himself.
They're best friends.
before he puts a chainsaw on his hand and kills us.
Yeah, to conclude this debate, I like my stance is the Deadites are not zombies, and the Evil Dead, the first movie, is not a zombie movie. The second one and the third one might be zombie movies. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But the first one, definitely, you can't convince me that the first one is a zombie movie because they're not zombies. But what's your stance? So is the Evil Dead a zombie movie?
I think there. So here's again. I think in this movie, it's clearly demonic possession.
Yeah, we're talking this movie. Like
This,
not is it a zombie franchise? Is 1991 Evil Dead 1981 sorry Evil Dead a zombie movie?
no,
There you go. There you go.
I think there are definitely like ideas that were inspired by zombie movies, especially Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Um, and that gets haha, fleshed out more later. Especially in Army of Darkness. Um, but these Deadites are very clearly demons possessing Ash's friends to fuck with Ash. Why they want to fuck with Ash is just because it's funny to fuck with Bruce Campbell, I
It's
guess. But
funny. Sam Raimi is the entity.
yeah, Sam Raimi is the Evil Dead. He voices the Evil Dead.
Yeah, he does the voice where when they're like, "Come to us." That's him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. So well the movie itself though. Now let's talk about the movie. The movie itself, like it poses it poses that question about are they zombies and everything, and you get to talk about it while the movie's happening. But the movie itself, to me, is just really boring. Like there's a lot of blood and like aimless killing, and I like that. I like blood and aimless killing. Like it's good when it's done well. But this movie is, I feel like it's trying to be a parody and a serious movie at the same time, and it those two clash together. It doesn't work. They cancel each other out, and it just becomes a boring movie.
I don't think it's that it's trying to be serious and not serious at the same time. I think it's just it's goofy. It's very campy. It's very like it feels kind of campy in the same way something like comic books feel campy. And campiness isn't for everybody. Like I can acknowledge that. You know, it is a very like I don't think it's trying to take itself seriously. I think it's trying to be goofy. But Sam Raimi's also like not trying to tell. He's not. It's not a parody. It's just overly goofy, and that's not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
It's like why a lot of people. Pat makes another Spider-Man reference.
Meh.
Why like a lot of people who grew up with the MCU or grew up with specifically the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies don't necessarily enjoy the Raimi movies because they're very campy, they're very goofy, like a comic book, right? They're not like serious, quote unquote. But that's just Raimi's style. It's not a parody. It's just him. He wants to be a funny little goblin man behind the camera.
Funny little goblin man.
But it's not for everyone, and Sam Raimi's directing style isn't for everybody either, right? So
Yeah.
it works for me, it doesn't work for Lib, which is totally valid.
I mean, did we do an episode on Multiverse of Madness? I can't remember if we did.
Yeah, we did do an episode of Multiverse.
We did, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, sorry, guys. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I didn't sleep last night, and also on top of that, we had two Halloween parties. I had two Halloween
You had
parties
two, I had one.
back to back.
A long weekend. He's a tired boy.
I had a lot.
Don't
My
get too
throat.
tired and go into a forest because the evil dead will take over your body and fuck with me.
Man, it might happen. Today's Halloween, man. Today is Halloween.
True.
Yeah.
I think I think if you watch Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness at some point, I think you might like this one a little bit more retroactively, but we'll see.
I know you like you said it before. Your favorite is Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, one of our buddies, Mr. Toonman,
Mr. Toonman himself.
likes Mr. YT Toonman on Twitter likes Army of Darkness the best. I have some other friends who like are big Evil Dead people who also think Army of Darkness is the best. I do like Army of Darkness. I like Evil Dead 2 just a bit more.
'Cause I guess Army of Darkness is the most Evil Dead Sam Raimi bullshit that they get.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's probably why everybody likes it so much.
Like Army of Darkness is peak Sam Raimi bullshit, I think. And I love Sam Raimi bullshit, but if people don't like this movie for being wacky and zany, I don't think people are gonna like Army of Darkness.
I think I will eventually watch the Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, and maybe even the reboot, like maybe before the Evil Dead Rise comes out.
And maybe
It's
we'll
coming out
cover it.
next year.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover it next year. I mean, when's it coming out next year? Is there a
Ap-
release date?
April.
April? Maybe we'll cover it. Maybe we'll watch it in theaters. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, I'll be watching it in theaters. So
Yeah.
uh, if not here on the podcast, you could check out my Letterboxd and you'll see what I have to say on
Yep.
Evil Dead. Because I'm not a big horror person. I'm not a big spooky movie person in general. I don't like them. Don't like being spooked. But Evil Dead is a franchise that's very near and dear to my heart, despite having not seen Ash versus Evil Dead yet. But yeah, I love this franchise. I'm very excited for, even though it's a sequel to the reboot. I'm excited for Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, and as for Evil Dead 1 for me, I mean like maybe when I watch the sequels I'll end up enjoying the first one more, or maybe I'll jump on the Army of Darkness bandwagon. I don't I'm okay, this is going to be a hot take. I don't really like Sam Raimi's directing at all. So
That's very fair. That's very fair.
like
Sam
I
Raimi's a weird director.
yeah, he's a weird like I enjoyed Multiverse of Madness, but that was somewhat out of Sam Raimi's hands because of course there were the producers looming over him the whole time. But like for his Spider-Man trilogy, I think that for me, that's my favorite Sam Raimi work. The Spider-Man 1 is my favorite. I'm I didn't watch a lot of Sam Raimi's stuff, but like Oz the Great and Powerful I didn't like. Evil Dead I ended up not liking. Doctor Strange I think I gave it a 3 at the end of the day, you know. He's a good director cuz like
He's a weird director.
there's very like he's good for this niche group of people who really enjoy this style. Like Sam Raimi's not the only person that does movies like this, but I think he started it. I think the Evil Dead really started that.
Like, I think I don't think it's a hot take not to enjoy Sam Raimi's style, because like at the end of the day, like directors have their each director has their own style that they put into their work, right? Like not Tarantino, for example, his style isn't everyone's cup of tea. Sam Raimi's style is very weird, and I don't blame people who don't necessarily enjoy it. I still recommend Sam Raimi movies to people who I know won't necessarily like it, just because like I'll just use Army of Darkness as an example. Maybe Army of Darkness will be the one, right, that like changes their mind. And like if they don't want to watch it or they don't like it, that's perfectly valid. I love Sam Raimi and his style works for me, but it is very very weird, and I don't blame people for not being into it.
I mean, like when I see that a movie's being, or even like with Ash versus the Evil Dead, when I see that he's directing something, I'm intrigued because his style is so it's so unique that like you hear like, oh, Sam Raimi is gonna direct this. You could already picture what the movie's gonna be like in your head. There's gonna be screaming women, you know. There has to be. There's gonna be a jump scare, at least one. And Bruce Campbell's gonna be in it, and maybe his brother. You know.
Yep, and there'll be women shrieking at the top of their lungs.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we counted how many shrieking women are in this movie. It was very unfortunate. There's not a lot because once they become zombies, they don't scream anymore. But there were five. There were five screams.
Yeah, I don't count deadite shrieks as fear because they're meant to scare you, not so it's different, right?
Yeah, and also it's mostly they just have this demonic laugh where they go like, you know, it sounds more like that than a scream. So, yeah, maybe if we ever, I mean, Pat probably will force us to do this, but if we ever cover the Spider-Man trilogy, we'll probably count screaming women.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna force it. I'm definitely gonna count for Spider-Man 2 specifically.
Yeah, we're gonna count number of screaming women, and there's gonna be separate counter for Mary Jane specifically.
Yeah, and then there'll be a third counter for every time I scream because I love those movies.
And then for the third movie, we'll have 3 counters: one for everybody, one for MJ, and then one for Gwen. And we'll just count those.
Spider-Man 2 is the most Evil Dead Spider-Man movie. That's a quote. That's a quote.
Man, if Fresh Off the Reel had quote of the day, that would be it. Quote of the episode: Spider-Man 2 is the most Evil Dead Spider-Man movie.
I'm putting it on my Twitter.
And as you tweet that, we're gonna we're gonna move on to Backloggd. So that's Evil Dead. 2 stars from me, 3.5 stars from Pat. I would recommend, even though I didn't enjoy it very much, I would still recommend it. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. If you like horror, if you like campy horror movies, it's a good watch. But now we're gonna move on to Backloggd because we still haven't seen Andor. We'll get back to you on that one. But last episode, I recommended Pat The Outsiders, 1983, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. You know, the man, the myth, the legend who directed The Godfather. The Outsiders was my personal favorite book growing up. It's not my favorite book anymore. Now it's Dune. But growing up, The Outsiders was definitely my favorite book. And when we read it, because we were forced to read it in class in high school, the teacher showed us a movie, and I didn't like it. Then I watched it at home, and I fucking loved it. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But Pat, why don't you talk about the
random comments regarding Coppola, because I don't remember if you mentioned it last time, but he also directed Dracula.
Yeah, no, we did. Yeah,
we did. Okay, I didn't remember if you mentioned it.
But
that's why you recommended it to me.
Yeah, that's why I recommended this to you. Also, like, when we were comparing the two.
I have to recommend you a Coppola movie now.
Well, not well. I mean, I've seen most of them. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark.
Wait, hold on. I just realized I don't have Apocalypse Now rated. There we go.
You've seen Apocalypse Now?
Yes, I have.
I was about to. Okay. Well.
You haven't seen it either.
Yeah, so it's perfect. We watched it together. Yeah, The Outsiders. That's the movie we're talking about. The
Outsiders, yes.
I liked it. I thought it was really good. I read the book in high school, but for me, high school was like 10 years ago. And I read it early high school, so I probably read this book like close to 15 years ago.
Most people like around our age group read this book in 7th grade.
Yeah, so like 7th grade was a long time ago for me because I graduated high school, which is 11th grade, I think. Yeah, for us it's 11th. For us it's 11th grade. So I graduated high school 10 years ago. So I read this closer to 15 years ago, right? Like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I did not remember anything going into this movie, but I liked it.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It's a fun watch. It's got a really good cast. Like, even for its time, like 1983, a star-spangled cast, man. What really sucks is the main character, Ponyboy, is played by a blank slate. His name's C. Thomas Howell.
He's not the best. He's in E.T. He's in Amazing Spider-Man.
He plays Zoom in the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, he's not the best. I think of this cast, I think he's the weakest link, which is unfortunate because he's the protagonist. I don't think he's bad, but I think he's definitely like the weakest actor that we're given. Especially like when you put him like I don't think Ralph Macchio was the best in this movie either. But just like putting Ralph Macchio next to him, and you could just see night and day how different they are in terms of performance. Yeah, I like them all. I love Tom Cruise in this movie. We're making jokes the whole time. Tom Cruise is in it. Rob Lowe is in it. Patrick Swayze's in it. Matt
Dillon.
A lot of later big names. You know, Diane Lane is in this movie.
Yeah.
Martha. How do you know that name?
Batman v Superman. I watched a review of it last night.
we should review it.
No, we shouldn't.
Yeah, we should. I think we should.
It's 3 hours long and it's stupid.
It's bad. It's bad the whole time. That's why we should do it.
Oh, one day we won't do it. But
yeah, I think this movie is really, really good.
Like, yeah, I have it at 4.5 stars.
I gave it 4. I'm gonna like it's not a mafia movie, but I think in terms of quality, it's like up there with stuff like Casino and not The Godfather, because Godfather is like,
It's a gang movie.
I was gonna say Goodfellas, but I think Goodfellas is better than The Godfather, which is better than this.
Whoa, Goodfellas
What?
is better than The Godfather.
Yeah, that's my hot take for today.
Oh, all right.
I think Goodfellas is better than The Godfather.
Okay, all right, okay. Oh wait, you have a funny story about Goodfellas, right? That your teacher showed you Goodfellas in
Yeah,
school.
yeah. In high school, we were like in ninth grade. They showed us Goodfellas, and it was ninth or 10th grade. They showed us Goodfellas in class.
they just for people who don't know, Goodfellas has the world record for the most f-bombs in a movie.
Yeah, they showed us Goodfellas, and so we had this class for fourth periods, like the last period of the day, right?
Yeah, yeah. For us, we only have 4 periods in
We
school.
had four periods, and the movie's longer than the class run time, right?
Yeah.
So we
Did
so,
you stay after school?
yeah, so the whole class just stayed, and we finished Goodfellas. Like legit, like nobody left. We all like 30 kids stayed and watched Goodfellas.
Oh, that's I have so many funny dude. We could just make a separate episode about funny shit that
Yeah,
happened in
and
class that
yeah,
that
we
that
could.
that had movies like watching movies in class. We could make a whole episode about that. Maybe we should. That'd be a fun one.
Maybe we'll do like a shoot the shit episode where we just talk as for filler.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in January since something comes out in January.
Yeah, true. I have another hot take, by the way. We can slap on another one. I like Casino more than Godfather,
Okay. Um.
and that's actually a hot take because a lot of people think Casino is just okay. So
I haven't. Have I seen it? I don't know if I've seen Casino. I always get it mixed up with. I always get it mixed up with Heat. So hold on. Casino. Have I watched this? Yeah. Okay, I have. Oh yeah, this is the Robert De Niro movie.
yeah, I love
Okay,
this
yeah.
movie.
I have seen. I give it. I have it 5 stars. But yeah, so The Outsiders. It's really great. For I think this is one of the best book adaptations I've ever watched. I'm gonna say something that my mother told me back when I was in high school when we were reading the book, because she grew up in the late 70s, early 80s. And she said that The Outsiders is definitely 100% the most accurate 70s depiction that she's ever seen in a movie. So there's something to go off of. That's a Lib's mother approval.
Approved by Lib's mom.
Approved by my mother. But yeah, like it's a really good book too. If you haven't read the book, I mean, I think the book is better, but I mean, most times the book is gonna be better. Like, it's a no-brainer, really. Except for The Perks of Being a Wallflower. The movie's better for that one.
I think in my opinion, this is the best book adaptation I've seen.
Well, you don't remember the book.
Yeah, but it's that good a movie, right? Like if the movie's this good, it has to be a good adaptation, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
If it was a bad adaptation, it would be a bad movie, right?
I think that they had two W's when they made this movie. Okay, they got Coppola to direct it. That's one, and they got the author of the original book, S.E. Hinton, to co-direct. So
The author's in the movie too, as the little Easter egg.
yeah, she cameos as the nurse.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, in the hospital. I should also mention that just like to pass it by because I don't like this movie or this book. But there is a sequel to The Outsiders called That Was Then, This Is Now. I call it a sequel, but it's really loose sequel. None of the characters from The Outsiders appear in That Was Then, This Is Now, except for Ponyboy. He makes a cameo appearance. Even in the book, it's a cameo. Like, they mention him in passing, and then they say hi to him at one point. But I don't think That Was Then, This Is Now it doesn't hold a candle to The Outsiders. But if you want, it's a duology, so if you want to get the full story, then also watch That Was Then, This Is Now. There's a movie of that too. And S.E. Hinton also directed that. So there you go. Co-directed. I don't know who directed the movie. Let me check. Christopher Kane. Oh, the director of Young Guns. I fucking love Young Guns. Do you know Young Guns?
I do not.
John Bon Jovi's in it.
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah. It has one of my favorite movie theme songs I've ever heard. It's Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the theme song for Young Guns. Young Guns 2 specifically. Maybe I'll recommend you Young Guns one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of recommendations, you gotta put one on me now.
Yeah, I do. But I have a couple options,
Oh,
and I don't know which one I want to recommend you because I said earlier before we started recording that I want to recommend you something stupid.
okay.
Because I feel like we talked about a lot of movies we one either really enjoy or at the very least are competently put together, especially in Backloggd. And I think it's time for some stupid.
Yeah, we haven't done a shitty movie or a stupid movie in a while.
And the thing is, like a stupid movie that I would recommend you is something I also would like to rewatch. So it'd be cool for me to experience that with you for the first time.
Oh.
But I also kind of want to recommend you Pink Floyd's The Wall. So
Those are both movies are in the category of weird.
yeah, so I have three movies.
Oh, you have a third one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what the third one. We're not gonna give you a hint about what the third one is.
Okay.
And whatever movie I don't recommend today, I'll save for the future. Right? Really. I want you to pick a number between 1 and 3, and that's the movie I'm recommending you.
Okay.
And wait, just to point out, like they're not in the order I was saying. I spoke about them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm picking a number now. Uh, let's go with my lucky number, which is number 2.
Libertino.
Yeah,
Next time
that's my full
you'll
name.
be talking about Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Kung Pao. Is that the one you wanted to rewatch?
Yes.
Oh my god, that is truly a stupid film.
Yes. So my options were
Well,
Kung Pao.
don't tell me. You're gonna save it for next
Well,
time.
I'm not gonna recommend it to you next time. I'm gonna save them for the future,
Oh, okay.
so you know what you're missing out on this time. So it was either Kung Pao, Pink Floyd's The Wall. You know, I'm a big Pink Floyd fan. I love The Wall, and I've been going down a bit of a rabbit hole of nostalgia critic content lately, so that came back to me.
Wow.
And the third one was A Bronx Tale.
I've seen A Bronx Tale.
Why is it in your watch list?
Why is it in my watch list?
Okay, well, then never mind then.
I remember.
'Cause we were-
Wait, don't you remember the conversation we had where I was like, "Hey, have you seen A Bronx Tale? I caught it on TV the other day."
I don't remember this conversation happening. Okay, well, it's in your watch list.
What the fuck? I watched it on TV with my parents.
Yep. At some point, you're getting The Wall. When? Who knows?
Maybe we'll just watch A Bronx Tale because I love that movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll also just watch The Wall at gunpoint. On the tight chair.
A Bronx Tale would have fit the theme.
Yeah, that's why it was one of my options, but
And it's okay. It's not a stupid movie.
it's not.
Wait, hold on. It's directed by Robert De Niro. I didn't know that.
I love
Oh,
Robert De Niro.
It's directed by Robert De Niro. That's hilarious. All right. Well, next episode I'll be talking about. We'll be talking about Kung Pao.
Yep. And we're
Uh,
talking about another movie too, right? What's the main film we're talking about next week?
Are you asking me because you don't know?
Yeah.
uh,
Because I remember a movie is coming out, I think, like soon, next week, I think. But it'll be after we record, so I don't know when we're gonna record that episode.
Yeah, well, next week on the 11th, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will be releasing. But there's gonna be an episode before that because it's releasing like it's releasing on a Friday, and the episode's gonna go up on Monday, so we don't have enough time. So it'll be like the following Monday. But next episode, the third Spooktober episode, we'll be doing The Thing. You don't remember that?
Oh right, yes.
We're doing your favorite horror movie.
I love this fucking movie. I'm gonna cry.
I also fucking love The Thing. My favorite fun fact about The Thing is that it was the inspiration for Among Us.
We should do them like a server movie night.
Yeah, maybe we should. Yeah. Well, next episode we'll be talking about The Thing and Kung Pao. That's gonna be a fun episode.
Those are two very different movies.
So if you want to make sure you don't miss it when it comes out, to go on our link tree, linktr.ee/fresh off the reel, no spaces, no caps, and follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube on the Jazzwalkers channel, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. Actually, wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure Amazon Music just got shut down like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Did you hear about that? Wait,
No.
no, it wasn't Amazon Music. It was something else. I think it was Google Music. I don't remember, but some music app got shut down. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been YouTube Music, but we weren't on there to begin with. But also on the link tree, you'll find a form that you can fill out to recommend us a film or TV show. We'll take that recommendation and we'll make an episode about it. So if you want to be shouted out, or if you want to influence an episode of the podcast, make sure to send us a recommendation. You could also find on that link tree our Letterboxd accounts, where you could find podcast spoilers, all our reviews for movies that we've seen. We update our Letterboxd very regularly, so check it out if you're bored one day. But that being said, we're gonna see you next week in a theater near you. Happy Halloween!
Goodbye.
Boo. Is there even fucking music in The Evil Dead? I don't remember.